Greetings, my friend, and welcome to the fourth video presentation in a series of videos where I present to you details about the Grace Society projects. And as you may or may not already know, my name is Russell and I am the overseer of the Grace Private Society. And in this fourth video presentation, I'm going to clarify with you our intentions to initiate a stunning project known as Natureamo Habitats. Natureamo Habitats is a project to build entire communities of homes and infrastructure that are designed for a new Earth paradigm, where the living beings of Earth thrive in habitats of natural living. And I will soon get into the details of what natural living is all about. But for now, I would like to preface this presentation with a discussion about the current living conditions of the world that we have built, where I can outline to you the motivations and reasons for us creating the Natureamo habitats. I begin with saying that the world we have created and the communities that most people live in are in every way possible an assault against our humanity and health and welfare. And when we actually pan out from the world that we live in, zoom outwards and take a bird's eye view of our world, we can evidently see that the overall design of our world is for the purpose of commerce and not for community. We have overlaid the beautiful landscapes of this earth with these concrete commercial jungles, these vast maze-like grids of concrete that stretch as far as the eye can see. These concrete commercial jungles are how we've become disconnected from what it means to live a natural life. And these concrete commercial jungles, they dishonor every aspect of life. The world that we have built is all about working and trading, with little time for much else, with little time to connect with the nature of who we are. This world that we have created has disconnected us from nature and from the nature of our own humanity. Modern day humans do live in the most inhumane ways, and that's because we have all morphed into commercial beasts that are living a rat race type of lifestyle. For most, life has become this relentless pursuit of working to live, this non-stop routine of chasing the money, paying the bills and servicing the debts. All the while there is this giant imaginary clock inside the mind that doesn't stop with its tick tock, tick tock. And that's because in this commercial world, time is money, and we don't have enough time, and we are forever racing about like rats in a maze, trying to get things done in time. And the maze-like design of this world is perfect for a rat race type of lifestyle. If we look at the infrastructure of entire nations, cities, towns and villages, they are specifically designed with networks of roads and transportation services that facilitate commerce. Focused on economic growth and development, the governments fund and build networks of roads and transportation services primarily for the purpose of commerce and not for the ease and convenience of our lives. They are built so that we can go further and do more. With more interconnection, we are traveling further and traveling more frequently. We are busier, and in our busyness or business, we do more commerce, we do more work, or we do more buying and selling. And because we have the ease and convenience of these networks of roads and transportation services, our lifestyles have sped up and expanded compared to the generations before us, say 40, 50 or 60 years ago, which in the grand scheme of things is not that long ago. But nowadays we have become more hurried, busier, unsettled and stressed out because we have sped things up. As a result of massive economic growth and development, we have become disconnected from the natural cycles and rhythms of nature. We have started to live very extreme and imbalanced lifestyles. We have built these unnatural settlements that have disrupted and degraded our way of life. For those with the eyes to see, this commercial world that we live in, this matrix of structures and systems that are primarily designed for commerce, they actually do affront and assault every aspect of our life. The world that we have created actually promotes dis-ease, degeneration, debt, destruction, and death. And I realize those are pretty harsh words that you might think has no relevance to the life that you live and the world that you live in. So from here on in, I will highlight just a few of the life diminishing aspects of this ill-gotten world. And we begin with the water supply. Water is a natural element that is crucial for life. Roughly 75% of the human body is water. Good health requires that we have clean and fresh water, where the quality of the water that we consume does correlate with our health status. However, the mains water supply is anything but quality. We have communities with sewage systems that recycle grey waste. Recycling grey waste back into the mains water supply. Grey waste is the human feces, urine, saliva, blood, pus, sweat, alcohol and drugs that are excreted from the body and flushed down the toilet, sink or bath. In other words, the grey water is contaminated with human death and toxins, not to mention the harmful cleaning detergents that we use. This highly contaminated grey waste flows into the sewer system and back to a local sewage facility, where it is dredged, filtered, chemicalized, and then pumped back into the water supply, with the appearance of it being clean and fresh water, but it is anything but clean and fresh. The water that we drink from our taps, that we bathe in, that we wash our food and clothes with, is anything but clean and fresh. The water supplied to our homes is dead, stale, and toxic water. Furthermore, this recycled sewage water is everywhere and used by everyone. The world of commerce has been infiltrated with this toxic water. All of the processed foods and drinks that we buy from supermarkets, restaurants, takeaways, fast food, and outlets, that lovely coffee that we get from our favourite coffee shop, they have all been made with toxic sewage water. What effect do you think this contaminated water is having on our health, given that water, good water, is the crucial sustenance that is required for the healthy function of our body's vital organs and systems? Well, it does not take much to realize that this toxic and death-ridden sewage water is very harmful, and that it correlates with much of the illness and dis-ease within our cultures. If we continue to use and consume dead, stale and toxic water, then we are polluting our bodies and putting a huge strain on our immune systems and maintaining the conditions within that are suitable for illness and dis-ease to flourish. What I need you to understand and appreciate is that in nature, with natural living, we wouldn't use dead, toxic and stale water. We would use the fresh, flowing water that is found in rivers and streams. Therefore, the water supply is unnatural. The water supply of our communities is a complete abomination that affronts natural living. Now let's turn our attention to the actual homes that we build and live in. The homes that we build today are shoddy and toxic. That's because we live in a commercial world that is all about business, the business of profiting from goods and services provided, and especially in the construction industry, the building game, where competition is fierce and the inflationary prices of raw building materials is literally going through the roof. In order for these building companies to make a profit and stay in business, they must make as much as they can and as quick as they can. And so quantity and quickness comes before quality. This means that most construction companies that build new homes are building them with fast fixing, composite and cheap building materials that are inferior, toxic, short lifespan and always in need of maintenance. Furthermore, the modern homes are now contaminated with electrical appliances, lighting, wiring, smart devices and Wi-Fi with electromagnetic frequencies, all of which are continually keeping our brainwaves stimulated and disrupting our natural circadian rhythm and sleeping patterns. Our homes have become so electrical and polluted with harmful and disruptive energetic frequencies, frequencies that you would not find in nature. And because of all of this electrical pollution, our homes are no longer harmonious sanctuaries that promote peace and rest. Instead, they have become charging stations that keep us constantly charged up. And our homes are parts of a commercial grid. We are constantly charged up, charging off and charging forward, and doing so with this headstrong and neurotic need to go there and do this and get that because it has to be done and I can't rest until it is done. But there is no rest because the entire commercial grid has literally got us disconnected from the harmonic, healing and balancing energies of the earth. We have built homes on these concrete padded foundations. We drive cars with rubber wheels on tarmacked roads, and we wear shoes everywhere we go. Whether it be in the home, walking down the street or driving in a car, our bare feet never touch the ground. This means that our bodies are never grounded on earth. We are never rooted or landed on the soil, which is unnatural. You must understand that the energy of the earth is both magnetic and dielectric. The earth itself is the magnetic or negative charge, the cooling and calming energy. And the atmosphere above is the dielectric positive charge, the heating and exciting energy. And when we are connected with both, we are balanced. And to achieve that balance, we need to be grounded. The soles of our feet must be connected with the earth. Without that earthly connection, we are always in the dielectric energy that is forward moving with positive charge. Because we are not properly grounded, we are disconnected from the body. We are stuck inside the head, stuck in the stimulation of thought, always thinking about what's next and where to go. We are cognitively charged up. The commercial world that we live in has been designed to keep us charged up and charging forward. We are charged to live. We must pay the bills that we are charged. And when we do commerce, we charge others to earn the currency. Currency is the flow of energy. The energy of our life force is always on high alert mode. The high alert mode of fear and survival, where we have developed these lifestyle patterns of needing to earn a living to live, needing enough money to survive. We think that we are free to do whatever we like, and yet without the money, we can't do what we like. And regardless of how much money we make and have, each one of us has become habituated to a patterned lifestyle that is dependent upon earning an income or wage to service bills and pay debts, where every now and then we can afford to take time out from the hamster wheel to enjoy some entertaining pleasure. The need and greed for making money, it never stops. The design of this commercial matrix has entrained all of our minds into a go, go, go mode of always searching for the next thing to do, the next thing to have, or the next thing to achieve. And even when stressed and fatigued, we ignore the symptomatic body that is warning us to slow down, because we are stuck inside a neurotic mind that haunts and taunts us with, I must do this, I must go there, I must get this done. And so many of us, we just feel guilty to even rest. We feel like we can't rest because if we do, we might not make it. We might not be able to keep things going. We might not be able to pay the bills and achieve all of those things, and so we must keep going. We can't afford to stop for too long. There is no rest in this rat race world of non-stop charging ahead. We are rats in a maze that are mentally dazed within a commercial phase, where commercial values now supersede community values. And because we are head down in the thick of work, 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 our communities are now more like these disunities. A disunity is where people live in close proximity to each other, and yet there is minimal to zero interaction or collaboration. Not that we have much time nor patience to even stop and talk to our neighbours, because we're just too busy and too short on time. And with the advent of digital technology, we have become even more separated from and alienated to our loved ones and in our own family homes. We are all plugged into our devices, and we are all each being mind programmed by different versions of reality, where the members of a family household are each developing different values and belief systems that make them different and take them in different directions in life. Rather than working together to create a family legacy that benefits all and endures for generations, most people within a family are pulling away from each other and sometimes working against each other, where each day that a family awakes, they leave the home and go in different directions to experience different lives and then return back home to continue their different realities online. We are all sleeping under the same roof, but living apart, where there has become a breakdown and disconnect of the family unit, where there is a lack of loyalty, respect, and togetherness. And this type of family situation is unnatural. Also, to live the life of a debt slave is unnatural. If we look to nature, we see that everything is flowing and free. If we look at human behavior, we see that it is rigid and fixed. And that's because most people have become debt slaves, slaves to debt that must be paid. And I appreciate that slave is a word with strong connotations. So perhaps bonded servitude is more palatable. Most people are bonded to a debt whilst in service to the payments of that debt. That's because in this commercial concrete jungle, we are slaves to the money and shackled to the debt. And so we just keep shuffling along as we work to earn to pay to live, as we work to earn to pay to live, as we work to earn to pay to live, every day on repeat. And there are no heavier chains than a house mortgage, where for 30 years of life, one commits the best years of their life to servicing a monstrous debt that gobbles up one's freedom. The word mortgage in Latin means a death pledge. When taking out a mortgage, we do sign away our lives and kiss goodbye to freedom as we buckle down to become a wage and debt slave for 30 years, for the prospect of gaining a fully paid for home. However, in recent years, we have been living in a failing economy that is going downhill fast. We are all interconnected with a failing economy. The economy has become so overinflated and the currency has become so devalued in recent years that we now have this ever worsening cost of living crisis. And this means that many people are struggling to juggle their bills and debts and unable to keep up those mortgage payments. Furthermore, this commercial world is controlled by a corrupt banking monetary system with manufactured economic boom and bust periods, where many people experience bankruptcy, foreclose on their mortgage and lose their home, becoming renters and with no hope of financial security or a peaceful retirement. Even more startling is the fact that we have an overpriced housing market that has resulted with an unsolvable double whammy housing crisis, where many people can't even afford to buy a home and we can't build enough affordable homes. With the non-stop rise in the cost of living and stagnant incomes and wages, most people have too much month left at the end of the money. Most people are always financially spent, behind on the bills and unable to get ahead. Most people are trapped within a relentless cycle of slaving away to service living expenses and debts just to survive. Always in the fear, the worry, the survival mode, and unable to catch a break. All of which is having a detrimental impact on the quality of their lives. The recent decades of an overinflated economy where prices have risen but incomes remain the same. We now have both parents of a household that must go to work full time just to keep the juggling show on the road. Most hard-working adults are now stressed out, energy drained, and time poor, with little gas left in the tank to properly nurture their children. Today's children are lacking the attention, presence, and intimacy of healthy and happy adults. The way that adults live in this inhumane world sets a bad example for the children that model the adults' behaviour. We are raising our children to become disconnected and dispassionate, just like us, the commercial beasts. Most parents don't even raise their own children. Their children are sent to a state school where the state decides what the children will learn. And the children get a cookie cutter education that does not tailor to the child's specific needs and skills. Furthermore, most parents enable their children's precious little minds to be corrupted with useless junk media that is downloaded from their digital devices. The world that we have constructed, the way that we live, the way that we treat and teach others, the way that we are so disconnected from nature and humanity is causing our downfall and demise. Unfortunately, though, most people are so fast asleep that they don't see how corrupted this world truly is with vice and immorality. We have become so familiar and normalized to the status quo that we don't think any different or better than how we live. We think the way we live is acceptable. We have also become snared by the glitzy lights and the alluring delights of commerce, lusting after the stimulating and enriching and entertaining entrapments of this world. However, in this declining economy with a devaluing currency, we are now witnessing a degradation in business ethics, standards, and conduct. We have steeped into the cesspits of commerce, where the high streets have now become low streets that are heaving with convenience stores, sweet shops, betting offices, pubs that open at 7 a.m, fast food takeaways, off licenses, coffee houses, pastry parlours, pawn shops, vape shops, and £1 budget stores. It's low prices for the low incomes, where these low streets are a sign of just how low and degraded and degenerated that we have become. Then just look at where we do our food shopping. We are dependent upon nationwide supermarkets that dictate the choice and quality of the food that is available. The food mostly available in these supermarkets is the food that sells most. In this supercharged, commercialized world where everybody is on the go, 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 what is mostly available are those stimulant boosting foods that are easy and convenient to make and eat. Foods that are manipulated and diluted to maximize profit. Most of the foods that are sold in these not so supermarkets are toxic processed foods that are dead and void of freshness and life. Thus, they are inadequate as sustenance for good health and nutrition. We are producing low grade and low nutritional food, and thus we are all subject to food poverty and malnutrition. This concrete commercial jungle is impoverished in every way possible. Take a close look around at your environment and you will come to see that most of the infrastructure, public facilities, buildings, homes and roads are either unkept, old, outdated, dilapidated, or in a state of disrepair. We live in this impoverished world because of a failing economy, where the money is simply not available for the upkeep and upgrade of the world that we all live in. Even when the money is made available, we just keep rebuilding more of the same impoverishment, because this world is governed by regulations, statutes and codes that determines the design and organization of this world. Our local authorities, they follow the same design templates that repeat the same low-grade housing and maze-like towns and villages, where houses are considered products and not homes, where it is all about neatly packing houses together and stacking up apartments into cuboid arrangements in which to maximize profit over space, where minimal to zero thought is given to building the most effective and elegant towns and homes. To summarize, we do live in concrete commercial jungles, these slow kill grids that extort, deplete, pollute, harm and greatly reduce our lifespan and quality of life. Everything about this world dishonors life, and yet because we have become so inured to these toxic lifestyles that are repetitive, restricting, limiting and harming our lives, we think that it's the norm, and we don't think that it could be any better. And nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to care because nobody has the time, energy, money or wherewithal, nor the inclination to think and live better. Most people have no other option but to strive and struggle onwards, hoping that one day they will be released from their lifestyle trap, hoping that one day things will get better. But how do we get released from a lifestyle that feels entrapping? Well, we certainly can't expect the billionaire corporation owners, the kings of the jungle, the apex predators of this world, with their entrepreneurial ambitions for more economic growth and development, that want to transform our society for the betterment of all. We cannot rely on those entrepreneurs that have a commercial mindset that isn't attuned with nature, where apparently their commercial ideas are to build huge skyscrapers, high-rise apartment blocks, mini homes, and super fast underground transportation networks, 5G Wi-Fi, artificial lab-grown foods, and to connect us all with AI so that we become transhumanistic and whatever else disconnects us from nature and defiles our humanity. Commercial solutions that come from commercial minds will take us even faster and deeper into a jungle of inhumanity. The jungle of inhumanity is dense, convoluted, and where life perishes. Because stacking it up higher, packing it in tighter, and making it faster will only make life worse. The greatest standard of life is a natural life, living within a habitat that promotes a balanced, peaceful and prosperous lifestyle that is aligned with the harmonic and healing cycles of nature. If we are to honor life, and I mean truly honor life, we need to reimagine and recreate a new earth paradigm that actually honors life. And that is exactly what the Grey Society intends to do. And so, without further ado, I, acting as the overseer of the Grace Private Society, present to you right now our intention to reimagine and recreate this world. I do formally announce our goodwill and intent to initiate our project called Natureamo Habits. With this project, we shall design and build entire landscaped communities that express the best of humanity in terms of architectural and engineering excellence, creative imagination, ingenuity, beauty, artistry, and symmetry, where we have these magnificent communities that nourish and exalt the way of life for all men, women, boys, and girls of this earth. Natureamo habitats are divine settlements, these habitats of optimized natural living standards where the living beings of earth can live a stress-free and worry-free life because they rejoice in the abundance of great health and welfare and live balanced and secure lifestyles of peace and prosperity. Natureamo habitats will be less commerce and more community. They are communities that are designed so that we participate, contribute, co-create and thrive together, where the whole becomes more effective than the parts are alone, where the communities work together for the greater good, greater each and the greater whole. Natureamo habitats will be self-sufficient communities that self-govern and self-generate the resources, goods and services that are required to sustain a thriving ecosystem and economy. These are communities where each member is responsible for the upkeep and integrity of their community, and where the great deeds and honourable conduct between each member of the community will ensure the idealistic standards of living in that habitat. And here are some of the main initiatives. First and foremost, our Natureamo habitats are designed and built with harmonic homes. Homes that are attuned with the natural healing frequencies and cycles of nature. Each newly built habitat will offer a variety of different structures and styles of avant-garde homes that suit individual tastes and requirements. Each home is built to harmonise with the earth. Each home is built with aerodynamic and thermodynamic properties that utilize space and energy effectively. Each home is also built using natural and whole and refined materials of the purest and best quality and purpose, where these homes are integrated with non-harmful technologies and appliances that facilitate the ease of living, where the aim is to create homes that are sanctuaries of peace, recreation and relaxation that promotes natural living. Our Natureamo habitats also include permaculture systems. Each habitat is set within a landscape that adheres to the principles of permaculture. They will be landscapes of enriched soils, evergreen foliage, forests, wildlife, plants, and fresh water systems, where the ecosystems provide a surplus of raw materials for the communities. Ecosystems that are designed to catch, store, and recycle the energies of solar, wind, and rain and provide green energy solutions to homes, where each habitat will grow and enjoy its own free, whole, and fresh organic vegetables, fruits, and herbs, where each habitat will have fresh and clean water provided by nature. Natureamo habitats are for natural living. They are entire communities that integrate with the natural flows and rhythms of a landscape. They are not communities built in grid-style patterns, but they are instead built in earth-style contours, where infrastructure, homes and pathways are staggered to wind and flow with the outline of a landscape. There are no roads, cars, buses, traffic or pollution in our communities. Roads will remain outside on perimeters of each habitat. Personal vehicles will be stored within underground car parks situated at the perimeters. Instead, we will use advanced light rail networks for transport in and around the habitats, where cycling and walking is encouraged. And the aim is for members of a community to be more connected and interactive with their local habitat. Natureamo habitats will be communities that celebrate great architecture and aesthetics. Like nothing seen before, they shall be picturesque settings of Renaissance gardens, waterfalls and rockeries, natural stone and grass paths, sociable amphitheatres, meadows of fragrant flowers and everything else that is pleasing to the eyes and soothing to the soul. Natureamo habitats will be communities that facilitate the highest standards of goods and services, so that members of the community can enjoy the very best quality. The local economy will grow and thrive with cooperative relationships that gain from mutual benefits, where the facilities of healthcare, universities, and recreational sports and fitness will be widely available and free. These are abundant ecosystems and economies that facilitate a great life. Natureamo habitats will also have a community-based digital currency. A digital currency to facilitate the exchange of goods and services. The currency is based upon the merits of good deeds in which to stimulate higher conducts of trading, where value is accrued where merits are due. Thus, we incentivize the use of best resources and best practices with creative ingenuity and innovation that excels and enhances living standards for each member of the habitat. With the digital currency, each member of the community will get access to credit advances that facilitate value creation and that supports income multiplication, capital preservation, value and asset protection, compounded wealth, and secured inheritance for all that participate, where each living being of a community has achieved financial freedom and wealth within their lifetimes. And so I hereby declare, as the overseer of the Grace Society, that our project, the Natureamo Habitats, are to be communities that are the exemplar of great living standards. These optimized landscapes of harmonic ecosystems and economies that provide an abundance of natural sustenance, where nature nourishes and honors life, where men, women, boys, and girls do live together with the principal ethics of earth care and wildlife care, and do thrive in peaceful and prosperous settings of natural living. And I, as the overseer of the Grace Private Society, as expressed in this presentation, do assert our inherent goodwill and intent to manifest Natureamo Habitats for the betterment of all beings, and we will see that it is done. And now I extend to you an open invitation to join us, to join the Grace Private Society and become part of our initiatives to create a new earth paradigm. I also encourage you to look into our other humanitarian and environmental projects that we are working on, which are projects that honour and exalt life and that creates a new earth paradigm for us all. And you can read about these projects in our official documents, or indeed you can watch the video presentations. And so now I thank you for being part of this, our presentation. I wish that it has inspired you to think better and imagine bigger. I trust that it has sparked within you a curiosity to know more about the Grace Society, or indeed to become a member of the Grace Society. So please do not hesitate to reach out and learn more. Until then, my deepest respect to you and yours.